Okay, hi everybody. I just wanted to kind of finish up the notes for 9.3 and let's finish on this problem. So it's kind of similar to the last one you just saw. So we're going to find the partition points. So here x minus 2, we'll see that if x equals 2, that'll make it division by 0, which we don't want. So there's a partition point. Also, we want to set the function according to part B of the procedure equal to 0. Okay, so like before, the only thing that matters when you have a fraction and you're trying to set a function equal to 0 is actually the numerator. If the numerator is 0, the whole thing is 0. But if you want some algebra, multiply both sides by x minus 2, you end up with x squared plus 3x equals 0, which you can then factor, because there's an x in both terms. This will factor to x plus 3, which will then give you the two solutions, x equals 0 and x equals negative 3 for this factor. So I have my partition points. What we'll do is, with these three, 2, 0, and negative 3, we're going to create our intervals. So the intervals will be negative infinity, so the smallest one, negative 3, negative 3 to 0, the next one, 0 to 2, and 2 to infinity. And then we're going to get test values, and you just plug in negative 4, plug in negative 1, 1, and 3. And we'll plug those numbers into f of x. So we'll get f of negative 4, f of negative 1, and f of 1. Now, like I said in class, this doesn't have to be a big deal. You can use your calculators for this part, and you can find those answers very easily. Okay, so when you plug in these values, what you'll get is negative 2/3, 2/3, and negative 4, and 18. So again, all you care about is is it positive or is it negative. This is going to be negative, that's going to be positive, that's going to be negative, and that's going to be positive. And we, from there, would have our solution, because what were we looking for in the first place? We want to know when this is less than 0. Well, when is it less than 0? When it's negative. So in this interval, negative infinity to negative 3, it's negative. And in this interval, 0 to 2. So we'll say something like x squared plus 3x over x minus 2 is less than 0 on the interval negative infinity to negative 3. And to, we could say union, to be precise, union 2 to infinity. Okay, so that's how we would determine, let's answer this, kind of like similar to the last one. So the next question is kind of an application of sign charts with profits. So it says a bakery estimates its annual profits from the production and sale of X loaves of bread per year to be P of X dollars, where the profit P of X is given. For what values of X does the bakery make a profit selling bread? So profit is when you have greater than 0, right? So we're actually interested in when is profit positive. So that's what we're going to kind of look for. Now over here, the partition points, you'll notice we'll have no asymptotes like this one because it's not a rational function. So we still need to set the equation as per step B on the constructing sign charts procedure. We'll need to set this equation equal to 0. So we'll do that. And actually at the same time, just kind of setting up the next step. Well, I could write it afterwards. But we're going to write this in order of the way you'll usually see quadratic equations, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. So here's the x squared, that's the x, that's the c. So you got your a, b, and c. Okay, so A, B, and C. Now we're going to use the quadratic formula because we need to solve this, right? So I could try to factor, but that's going to be kind of tough. So we're just going to go straight to the quadratic formula because it is the quadratic equation, which is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times ac over 2 times a. Already labeled a, b, and c there, so we're just going to substitute those values in. So here we end up having negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 6, or actually positive 6, squared minus 4 times negative 0.001 times 5,000 over 2 times a, which is negative 0.001. Okay, so then input that into your calculator. Remember, you got to input it once for plus, so do it with a plus, and then once for minus, because this is plus or minus. So if you input this into your calculator, you'll end up with two solutions. One of them is going to be 1,000, and the other one's going to be 5,000. Okay, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and make myself some space here. I'm going to erase what we had here, and we're going to make a sign chart. Okay, so the sign chart will be kind of similar to what we just did. We're doing an interval, and our intervals will be from 0. Well, okay, it would be from negative infinity to 1,000. But then if we think about this, can we have negative loaves? No, right? So in this case, we're going to change it to 0 to 1,000 instead of negative infinity to 1,000. And then 1,000 to 500. 5,000 to 5,000. I still didn't give myself enough room. And then 5,000 to infinity. Okay, so I kind of squeezed that in. We're going to do a test value. Test value in here, I could just pick anything. I'll pick 100. Between 1,000 and 5,000, I could pick 2,000. Okay. And then between 5,000 and infinity, I could pick 6,000. And now I'm going to plug these numbers in. So I'm going to do f of 100, f of 2,000, and f of 5,000 or 6,000. Okay, so we'll figure these out, and we'll write those. Okay, so a good way to do this. Remember, the calculator can substitute a lot of ways. I don't really expect you to do that by hand. But a good way to do that would be a second window, and then you change your independent to ask, and then you can go to the table after you type the equation in already. Then you can go to the table and you can just push 100 enter, 200 enter, 600 enter, and it'll give you the solutions pretty quickly. So that's what I did. I got negative 4401, 6600. And the final one is 27,400. But again, what's the only thing that we care about? Is it positive or negative? And here it turns out it's negative. That turns out to be positive. That turns out to be positive as well. Yes. So this will kind of tell us the behavior of this function. Okay, actually, I had to check myself after doing it again. I realized this one was, well, these were off. Okay, so this is negative 44100 or 10. This would be 3,000, and then this would be negative 5,000. Okay, so the only thing that changes actually would be that this would be negative. Okay, so now I can answer my question, when do I have a positive profit? In other words, when is this positive on this interval from 1,000 to 5,000? So if I were running this business, I would want to make sure to make profit, I'm going to produce 1,000 to 5,000 loaves. Anymore, I don't have profit, I have negative profit. So to have profit, they should produce the bakery should produce 1,000 to 5,000 loaves of bread. And later on we'll get to exactly how many would be maximum profit down the road. Okay, that'll be it. Thank you.